Hey, hey, what's up? Here for another reading, so buckle up. Spirit's telling me this one's gonna be a doozy. Sorry, I was gonna be making more channeled cards, and they kind of got stuck with my other cards. There we go. Okay, alright. Alright. So what's up? What's new? Anything? Anything good? Anything you want to talk about? Alright. Let's go. Let's see what happens. Spirit, we're here for another message. I allow you to use my vessel to bring forth light and love and the message that the individual listening to is needing. Thank you. This deck has gotten so big. But Spirit keeps telling me they've got more to say. Go in yourself, study yourself. Get to know the new you. 313. It's fated to go in a different direction. Take the detour. Okay. Maybe you're getting ready to try and speak on something, and you have there's a blockage. Throat chakra, if you believe in chakra. Can we pretend like it's airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? I could really use a wish right now. B.O.B. So maybe that's a song for somebody. Maybe there's a message in there for somebody. The right opportunities will find you. You do not chase. 444. 888. So now my throat, I got this really weird feeling in my throat. So I'm really thinking something is coming up that you're going to be speaking about or speaking on. I'm not getting the sense that this is like a big stage or anything, but I think that it's big in the way that you're going to be speaking up for yourself, advocating for yourself in some way. Maybe some are advocating for others, but I'm getting more of the sense that you'll be advocating for yourself. You'll be speaking up for yourself. And this could be piggybacking on the last few readings that I've done. If you want to go back and catch up, those are available. It could be the last three most recent posts. Okay, let's see what we got. Shamelessly live your life. Cause no harm. Disconnect from the negative. Discern your offers. Prosecco snake. You are exactly who you need to be. You are exactly where you need to be. One step at a time. I'm really just in those last, few cards, did you see the lights do that? That was crazy. There's really something going on, and I think it's getting to the right time for you to really shamelessly, speak on yourself, speak for yourself, live your life, cause no harm and disconnect from the negativity. Yeah, there's something going on, and I think you're getting to the point where it's just enough is enough. You've had enough. You're done. You cycle complete. Your demons can be your demons. Sorry, your dreams can be your reality. People around you see the potential, break the stigma. Maybe you're fighting some demons, right? Trust God's timing. He is never early. He's never late. Pray and meditate. Take care of yourself. You deserve the world. The world deserves you, but not everyone in the world. I'll take that as confirmation. You have a handle. You have handle, you have to handle with care / caution type of energy. You have a handle with care. Oh, scratch that. I read that completely wrong. You have a handle with care / caution type of energy. It's very intentional. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Feathers, sticks, and pennies. 12, 21, 999, 11, 11, 333, 555, 15, 51. I think you've been seeing the signs. I think that, your intuition has been speaking with you. I think that you really went inward to try and find the solution to this after extensively talking with, people and individuals outside of yourself that really couldn't. They try their best to give you the information that they think is best for you, but ultimately it wasn't what was best for you long term. And so you thought that you could try and figure it out on your own terms, and you could, try to appease this individual. You could try to just pacify this individual. You thought maybe you could love them into healing or love them into seeing you for the magnificent individual that you really truly are, and it just didn't work. And now you're getting to the point where it's like, okay, enough is enough. I have to speak up for myself. I have to say what is truly on my mind and in my heart, and what is in my best interest must be vocalized, because this other individual is just not going to do it for me. They don't see me for who I really am. And that is honorable, and that is commendable, and that takes an incredible amount of strength to do for oneself. Because there's many people out there that stay with or allow others in their bubble, in their circle, that are just really super not healthy for them. And they do it for a number of reasons. And I'm not judging, and I'm not, who am I, right? I've done my own relationship battles. Needless to say, to get to that point means that this has been going on for long enough. It's been going on too long. And although a lot of times we have our partner's best interests at heart, and we can see the potential in them, and we want what's best for them, and we want to spend our life with them if that need be the case. But ultimately, as time goes on and the patterns keep repeating and the cycles keep cycling, I got a thing for the wild ones, God. But that's another song. I got a thing for the wild ones. Anyway, it's just a matter of time before it gets to that point. But it does inevitably always come to that point. It always does. Bring your authentic self forward. You're unique for a reason. Can't make this up, babe. Can't do it. You cannot add an hour to your life by worrying. It's useless waste of time. So you've been worrying about this. This has really weighed on you for quite some time, and after you got through all the sadness, and you got through all the arguments, and you got through all the please see me's, and begging and pleading for this person to be the person you could see them being, or maybe even wanted them to be, or fantasized them being, it was a waste of time, and I don't mean to sound heartless, and I don't mean to sound cold, but it genuinely, that time spent trying to do that could have been done doing something more productive in your own life. And that's where seeing your own potential really comes into play, and just knowing all the love that you sink into another individual, and all the love that you give to this person, and all the things that you try to do to improve their life, or bend over backwards for, or like I was saying, begging them to see you for who you are, and loving you for what you have to offer, and take the good times for what they were, and let go of the rest. But don't fantasize, don't try to pretend like the whole relationship was all great, because our minds will play tricks like that on us. you left for a reason, or you're leaving for a reason. And I was once told, like, to write those reasons down. Not to give it away, not to show anybody. It's just for you, that when you start to think about wanting to maybe contact them or rekindle something or work on something or even just a conversation, you go back through, you pull that out, and you go back through and you look at it, and you remind yourself, that's why I left. That's why I got strong enough to leave. That's why I decided that I deserved something else. Come on, get down, baby. Good boy. Good boy. People talk about you because they can't stop you. Uproot the trauma to allow healing. Your light will guide you. Yeah. Life until this point has been training you for what's next. Big changes on the way. Yeah, I'll take that as confirmation. You start working on, you get out of your situation, you start working on things, you start working on yourself, you start putting the pieces back together, you get through the healing, you uproot that trauma, and you have no idea what life has in store for you, right? Especially, like I don't know if you guys are familiar with Abraham Hicks. I've been listening to her for several years now, and she talks about a vortex, and she talks about, our higher selves, and how, every time we say we don't want something, we attract it in. Every time we do say we want something, we attract it in. And it's, the law of attraction, basically. And if you've never listened to her, maybe that's a sign for somebody. Maybe that has some sort of significance, or maybe somebody resonates with that. And your higher self, God, universe, whatever you believe in personally, like, has so much that it wants to give you, right? But if you're so focused on this relationship or this person or this toxic work environment, like whatever it is in your life that you're trying to make the decision to stay or go with, okay? You're preventing those manifestations from having space to come in. And so when you clear that stuff out, then you have all this room to open up for, right? And you allow those things to come in and come to you. Pardon me. Had to adjust myself. And, love yourself. God will bring someone to love you too. That confirmation, start working on yourself, babe. Start taking care of yourself. If maybe that's something that you've been lacking on, or maybe you just do like the bare essentials. You don't really like spoil yourself too much, or you don't really like take time out of your day to like do the things that you necessarily want to do, because you were so focused on getting that next promotion, or trying to get them to marry you, or trying to get in the, I'm hearing them to understand you in couples counseling, so maybe that's something that resonates for someone out there, just trying to even do the work and get through this, and, have them see you for yourself. My cat's trying to get out of the cupboard. He can get out, but he likes me to let him out. All right, let's see what we got. Oops. Lone wolf vibes. It's okay to be alone, but it's also okay to have a pack. Alpha vibes. Rest now. Life is about to get busy and prosperous. Your highest timeline is calling. Make the jump. Yeah, I'll take that all as confirmation. It's okay to be okay. It's okay to be alone. And maybe that's what was trying to come out also. It's okay to not be okay, But what is not okay is to allow someone to mistreat you, or a place to mistreat you, or for you to kind of just take on the burden of being mistreated. Nobody deserves to have to walk around with that burden. Spirit communicates through your body. Maybe you've been not feeling very well. With this rest now, life is about to get busy and prosper. As soon as you make this move, as soon as you make this jump, this timeline jump, where'd it go? You just had it. Yeah. As soon as you make this timeline jump, yeah. So maybe this is your confirmation to get ready. That the decision you've been planning on trying to make, or you've been wanting to make, It's time. It's time. Like I said, with that throat blockage, just coming to terms with that you're going to have to stand up for yourself. That feels really heavy, like on my chest. Like I'm feeling like, yeah, my heart's racing, like anxiety. I'm feeling anxiety, and baby, sometimes that's just how it goes. Like you have to do what you have to do for you. Because, like, people can try to stick up for you and speak for you and things like that, but until you do it for yourself, it is such like a I'm hearing so many words. Invigorating and adrenaline pumping and exhilarating. There we go. It's such an exhilarating feeling to finally get out everything that you've been bottling up. All the credit goes to you and God. So you've been praying about this. You've been talking to your higher spirit. You've been talking, to the divine about having to make this decision. And I think that, like I had said, like you've been getting the signs and, like maybe a heart is a sign for you, but you've been getting the signs. Like you've known that this was coming up, that this had to happen. And I'm feeling like dread, like you did not, you just wanted this person to see you for who you are and to love you for that person. And maybe even like there's a lot of sadness because like I'm thinking that I'm sensing that they portrayed themselves to be one way and they are not that way once you actually like got to know them and they've been around you and they've been in your life and you've spent adequate amount of time together. Sorry. Saw that and it was bugging me. And that those are all very valid emotions and feelings and thoughts to have. And when you're feeling those, sometimes it's easier to numb it out. And I think I mentioned this in the other video. It's a lot easier to just numb it out or distract yourself from it or to ignore it or I always mess this word up. Yeah. Anyway, I'm trying to like think of how to properly say it because once I think about it, I can say it, but my brain messages are coming through so fast, and my brain's like, but we do everything but deal with it and face it head on and work through it and feel those negative emotions because they don't feel good, right? Crying isn't like the best sensation in the world, right? Like we can all, I think like honestly and speak on that, right? But afterwards, right, you're exhausted, you're a mess, and it's just such a raw human emotion to feel sad, right, and to cry. And I'm surprised we haven't gotten it again, but like crying is so cathartic. Like after a really good cry and probably a nap and something to eat. It's like, I know for me, I feel so much better. I feel so much lighter afterwards. My brain is clear. Like I can focus on other things that are going on. I can actually start to like rationalize whatever the situation is that like caused those emotions and things. Because I know for myself, like I'm pretty passive now, right? But when I was younger, I had a lot of anger, a lot of rage. I was very mean. I was sharp-tongued. I was just not exactly somebody everybody could handle and or wanted to be around. And that came from years of trauma that I did not heal or work from. It wasn't that I hadn't tried. Like I went to therapy. I had been in psychiatry. I had been on medications. I had been hospitalized. Like I have, a record of self-harm. I have a record of self-exit, like all these different, like really low vibrational, really negative, really self-hatred, a lot of self-hatred. And it all stemmed from trauma and things that I had went through for years. And then like just a few years ago, After my last, like, really serious relationship had ended, I was absolutely devastated. Like, I knew I needed to leave, and I was planning on leaving, and then, um, how do I put this? Like, I caught him red-handed, put it that way. It absolutely shook me to my core because the entire time my intuition was screaming at me, spirit was talking to me, and I had all these signs, like, to basically what I'm telling you, speak up for myself, which I had tried, and it just didn't work out. Regardless, anyway, moving on. After everything's said and done, like it was the hardest one of the hardest things that I'd ever had to go through, but it sent me on the trajectory of healing. And it sent me on the trajectory of tuning into myself and tuning into my body and tuning into my emotions and my psychology and tuning into my gifts, right? I always knew they were there, but I hid them away. I didn't really talk about them. If I did, it was very, like, few people that even knew. And, it healed my spirituality, and because I was left with nobody but me and God, me and my higher power. And so, when I say you're going to be okay, I'm telling you, you do the work, you sit with the pain, you let it heal, just like a wound, right? I don't know if you can see it, but I had fallen and busted myself up. You will heal. And it'll be okay. It will. You'll come out better for it. That's what I'm trying to say. You'll come out better for it. You are coming to terms that you're a walking contradiction, solo leveling, so that might be a show for somebody. Maybe it's a show that you like, or maybe there's a message in that show for you if you're unfamiliar with it. But being a walking contradiction, that is coming to terms with your light and your dark. That's what that card is signifying to me right now, is that you are starting to come to terms with your light and dark side. 555-1010, 515. The time is now. It's on its way. Open yourself to receive. Yeah. This time is now, right? The time is now. You have parts of yourself that you don't show to everyone. You prefer to keep those parts of yourself to yourself, but you don't have to. Confirmation. That just tells me that Spirit is with us right now, and that they are confirming, what we're discussing here. Your ego death made you impossible to control. Your energy isn't something they experience often, if not once in a lifetime. You're unique, baby. And you don't, if somebody is really, like, mistreating you and not doing right by you, and it doesn't have to be so severe as, like, physical abuse or, non-consent to anything. It could just be, as small as just not returning a phone call in a reasonable amount of time. Like, that's disrespectful. You know what I mean? Especially, like, if you're in a committed long-term relationship or something like that. You've built a relationship with this person. If that's one of your boundaries and they keep crossing that boundary, it is okay to say enough is enough. It is perfectly okay. And if it is something bigger, like, spousal, physical, things that are not consented to, then even more so, right? Like, that is a boundary nobody should ever tolerate being crossed. Only a fool won't change. Stay out the way of the ignorant. Confirmation. Get out of the way. Full body chills, confirmation. Find what resonates with your purpose. Spirit. You have such a fierce and resilient spirit. Justice is about to be served. You have sacrificed so much. when you move, the whole universe moves. Yeah, so once you speak on this, once you make this decision and you act on it, that's what I'm hearing is acting. You act on it. You don't just sit and wonder or think about it or pray about it. You actually act on it. That's when things will start to change. This find what resonates with your purpose. I'm hearing gifts. So I'm thinking that you also are some sort of clairvoyant, clairaudient, medium, sensitive, anything like that. And I think you'll also be able to tap into those and practice those and in tune with yourself much more, because you'll have that clearing and you'll have that space for those things to actually be able to, or you'll actually be able to work with your gifts. Your transformation is yours. Confirmation. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone. You just do it for you. You just do it for you. You do this because it's what's best for you. It's, people put a negative connotation, like, on being selfish and things like that. Like, as long as you're not an arrogant a-hole, right? Like, it's okay to be selfish. It is, right? As long as you're not mistreating other people by it, right? It is okay. It is okay to focus on yourself and to take care of yourself and to do things for yourself just because you want to, or not do things because you don't want to. Like, I don't do anything I don't want to do, and I do relatively everything within means, right? And that devastating heartbreak taught me that, and I think oftentimes we have to go through things devastating in order to really understand, right? Like, I'm surprised we haven't got it. Maybe we will. How do you know what you do want if you don't know what you don't want? How can you have light without dark? Keep your plans to yourself until it's fully developed. People will ruin it. So maybe that's why you haven't spoken on this yet. Because you're trying to get your plan developed. And they might try to talk you out of it. People in your life, other, friends and family might try to talk you out of it. Maybe this person does really well with your friends and family and they don't know what's going on. I'm hearing secrets. Secrets. So maybe this whole thing is a secret. This, whatever it is that you're going through. I don't want to identify it because there's a lot of things people go through. But I'm hearing mistreatment. I'm hearing mistreatment. Yeah. 7777. With love, you have the ability to heal. Yeah, you'll be okay once you get out of this. Sit in your silence. Solitude is part of the process, so you're going to need to be alone for a while afterwards. To kind of work through everything, Refresh your soul in the ocean. Start doing cleansing rituals. You're brilliant, billionaire bright. You're smart enough to do this, Your healed self wants to exist, not just getting better. Release the Kraken. Maybe that's a movie for somebody or a book for somebody. And getting better. Yeah. I take that as, like, maybe at times you thought that this dynamic was going to be getting better. And that's just not what happened. Hoovering and discarding, that's what I'm hearing. But your healed self wants to exist. You're going to accomplish it. Everything you want wants you to, yeah. This new life that you have been dreaming of and you want, it can happen for you. It wants you just as much as you want it. Like freedom from whatever this is you're going through, right? That freedom that you yearn for wants you too, And where was it? Keep your plans to yourself. You know, I think that you've had to be quiet about this. I think that you've had to kind of, I'm hearing suffer in silence. Man, these are really like heavy, heavy, heavy energies. Like some of these energies I have not felt in a very long time. Red bird. Maybe that's a sign for somebody. Or red, the color red. It's red, white, and black on this. So maybe those colors, you know, are significant to someone. I think it's like a little finch. So maybe, you know, finches in particular. Or maybe, it's not a cardinal, but maybe cardinals are significant to you. Having a good cry is cathartic. Oh, Spirit. Oh, Spirit, you're so awesome. One cry a week to keep the line open. Yeah, you got all of this that you've bottled up and you've built up inside. You gotta release it in a healthy, adaptive way, not maladaptive. I'm not condoning any troublemaking, but you have to get it out. Follow the yellow brick road. Yeah, follow this through. Follow your intuition. Follow the fact that you're not meant to not take care of yourself. You're not meant to sacrifice yourself for the happiness of somebody else. That's crazy. That's crazy work. Being selfless to another human being in the right condition, situation, is sometimes a very beautiful thing to witness. But it can be taken to an extreme. There is a line that can be crossed to where it's very detrimental to an individual to do. And that's where, you know, I keep saying, like, being selfish is okay too, right? But there's still that line as well. Like, if you cross that line, it can turn into narcissism at worst case, right? Psychopathy, or antisocial behaviors, or, you know what I mean? Like, there's all, and maybe those are incorrect, but my point is there's a negative aspect to both things, and it's once you cross that line and you don't counterbalance it, that it becomes detrimental. You're outgrowing people, places, things. Something brand new is on the horizon. Spiritual cleanse. Yeah, just like when we got that ocean card. Take a soak in the ocean. You need to do some sort of cleanse. Maybe it's a physical gut cleanse. Maybe it's a spiritual cleanse. Maybe it's a heavy metals, or like a detox. Or maybe, again, with that numbing, maybe there's substance use. And it's just time. It's time to cut all that out, or it's time to do those cleanses. People feel safe with you. People have never experienced someone like you. You live rent-free in their heads and hearts. So you're a good person. You have a really good heart. You're smart, and you know you're not doing something like this out of malice. You're doing this because it's what's best for you. And that's commendable. Stop caring/worrying about what others think. What others think about what you are doing. Their emotions are theirs. Yeah. So you're going to have some backlash for this, but you just ignore it. Just ignore the haters, right? Like that old saying, ignore the haters. Generational upgrade. Your name is going to be one of those names. Maybe you're meant to pass on how you heal. You know what I mean? Like, and help out others. Or maybe you're breaking a generational curse. Okay, Spirit, I hear you. A generation, I see generation. You know, maybe there's a generational curse of domestic